Rowland Hussey Macy was born on the 30th of August 1822 in Nantucket Island, Massachusetts. As a young boy, he never received a formal education. Rowland was forced to start working even before he became a teenager. At the age of 15, he began working at a whaling ship owned by Emily Morgan. After several years of working rigorously, he became financially stable and was able to afford a comfortable life. However, Rowland didn't want to keep living as an employee. He tried to move past that level and become a more successful individual. So this young man quit his job and decided to start a business. At the time, he had been able to save a significant amount of money which he intended to use to start the business. In 1850, he partnered with his brother Charles to open a dry goods store. But right from the very first day he opened the store, business was terrible and discouraging. Rowland, however, was still strong and kept on trying to make the business work. Eventually, the business failed and he was forced to close the store. Exactly a year later, Rowland gathered courage and opened another dry goods store, hoping to save the meal industry employees within Haverhill, Massachusetts. Months after establishing the business, Rowland was pleased with the profitable outcome of the new retail business. The store experienced steady patronage and has quickly grown into a big establishment. But when the store was about becoming a year old, things began to go sideways for Rowland, and the business started crumbling gradually. Rowland tried to identify what could have gone wrong. He discovered some of the mistakes he made that was affecting his business. For the second time, this man failed as an entrepreneur. Sometime later, 1858, Rowland relocated to New York City where he hoped to start another business. He believed that a different environment would positively influence his business. So, he established a new store, which he named R.H. Macy Dry Goods. On the first day of the new business, sales totaled $11.8, about $326,000 today. Fortunately for Rowland, the business success he had been longing for finally arrived. His business expanded into neighboring buildings as he began to open more and more stores. Rowland built his business into a multi-million-dollar establishment before he finally passed on several years later. So many people are supposed to have a more prosperous life than the life they have now. However, they failed to live above mediocrity. Mediocrity is the state of being regular, usual, ordinary, common, and average. If you must be exceptionally high in life, you would need to aim above mediocrity. Margaret Fuller said, "Beware the mediocrity that threatens middle age, its limitation of thoughts and interest, its dullness or fancy of mental thinness." You should be careful about the life of a mediocre. Mediocrity mainly causes you to limit yourself and your ability. It blinds you from seeing the more important things that you are capable of accomplishing. Maureen Dowd said, "Don't settle for mediocrity. When you were created for greatness, know who you are." As someone who's meant for greatness, it's absolutely wrong and dangerous for you to resort to a life of mediocrity. You must recognize who you are. You must identify your potential and live a life of purpose. People who settle for mediocrity usually live a deteriorated and diminishing life instead of living the one of a champion and a conqueror. Walter Russell said, "Mediocrity is self-inflicted. Genius is self-bestowed." You are the one who can cause a life of mediocrity for yourself. No other person can do that, just you. This is the reason you must guard your mind against every thought of self-limitation. Don't get satisfied owning a car. Strive to own an automobile manufacturing company. Don't get happy living an average life. You can actually aim for something much better. Rowland Hussey never settled for a life of mediocrity. He pushed himself to become a greater and more successful person. Live above mediocrity. You are destined for something greater.